to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to start today with a presentation by Horan. Steve Ash, our favorite Horan representative. Come on up if you'd like to. Give us an update.
All right, well, we have an update and we also have some final recommendations as we work through the renewal process this year. So first off, I would just like to thank the HR team as well as the Healthcare Advisory Committee for all the work they put in this year. So it was a tough renewal. We did do requests for proposals for several lines of coverage. Worked through a lot of different plan changes, options, and a lot of challenging discussions. And we feel like we have some pretty good recommendations here to kind of close out this renewal process. So just a quick update on the claims update so you can see how the plan's performing year to date. We'll then get into a quick overview of the RFPs that we did for the medical, the actual medical recommendations, and some plan changes for 2018. We'll then talk about the expected medical costs and a quick update on the reserves, the medical reserves for the county, which will then lead us into the 2018 final expected costs. We'll get into medical employee contributions. We'll touch on the dental recommendation and contributions, and then we'll quickly touch on some of the other benefits. And then next steps. So as I mentioned, we wanted to give you a quick update year to date on how the plan is performing. Through June, if you look there at the kind of the bottom right-hand side, there's a lot of numbers going on this, but just shows you how you're running to projections. So currently you're at 96% to total costs. So you're running slightly under budget. All right, now the medical request for proposal overview. So as we mentioned last time, we conducted a full RFP, getting quotes and renewals from 6 medical carriers. From the administration and stop loss standpoint, really after evaluating the quotes, network access, network discounts, pharmacy rebates, other carrier nuances, I'd mentioned we narrowed the focus to Humana and UHC. After that, we did some additional legwork behind the scenes, and then we did have finalist meetings with Humana and UHC to hear their value propositions, differentiators, and why they would be a good fit for the county. So we're just making sure we did all of our due diligence. After final negotiations, what we found is Humana and UHC were actually offering pretty similar costs for 2018. So as you recall, last time I was out here, there's a pretty big gap between UHC, Humana. Humana really tightened up their offer. You can see the overall expected increase listed up there. For Humana renewal was about an 8.5%, and then UHC was 8.4%, so just slightly below Humana. Now, one of the biggest things that we looked at and that you have to take into consideration when you're changing carriers being self-funded is you have to pay run-out fees, and those are included in the UHC total costs. And run-out fees are expected to be at $113,000. And basically what that says is Claremont County must pay Humana an administrative fee to process claims that are incurred in 2017, but not paid until 2018. So those are those run-out fees. It's essentially a couple months of administrative fees if you were to make that carrier change. So knowing that that was in UHC's overall costs, when we start looking at the future years, such as year 2, those fees will not be included. So there's actually more about a $120,000 differentiator, partly because of the run-out fees as well as the increase in rebates that UHC is providing. It was a little bit greater than Humana. So again, we're looking at this in a multi-year deal. Humana did offer a 2-year admin guarantee, and then UHC actually offered a 0.5% increase over the course of 3 years, which is very, very minimal. So when we look at it holistically, the ultimate recommendation from Horan, the HR team, and the Healthcare Advisory Committee is changing medical carriers to United Healthcare and leveraging the Health Action Council pharmacy contract. So if you recall, over the course of 3 years, that HAC contract basically gets us $1.6 million in rebates, which is very significant. Now, this decision was not made lightly. Humana's been a fantastic partner for Claremont County. Anytime we do recommend a carrier change, obviously a lot of thought, a lot of detail, a lot of work goes into that. But we feel with their fixed costs, the rebates, as well as some strategic things that we can do from a plan design perspective, as well as wellness, that it warrants a change to United Healthcare at this time. Some additional recommendations are additional changes to reduce the overall 8.4% increase, and then also renewing stop loss with Sun Life. So again, some of the rationale behind those recommendations, the $120,000 fixed cost savings in future years, We have that 3-year admin guarantee of a 0.5% increase each year. That $1.6 million in rebates by going through the Health Action Council Consortium. And again, that's for a 3-year span. The unique plan design strategies to help us contain costs, and we'll get into that a little bit here on the next couple of slides, but they're unique to UHC and how you can design a plan to help drive better utilization. The other interesting thing is Sun Life was offering a 0% renewal on stop loss, which I would say is very fantastic in the stop loss world. If we move to UHC, it was actually 12% with Humana. And then it maintains the ability to earn those premium back based on stop loss performance by keeping it with Sun Life. And last year we did qualify for $169,000. And then also we become a member of the Health Action Council, or HAC. So a lot goes into that.
Yeah, that's Sun Life, I guess, that unlike Humana, which has a fixed annual increase for a lot of their customers, Sun Life, I guess they're looking at our account and saying, we've been a good risk over the years, so we're going to give you a 0%.
Yeah.
Because we've always been under what we expected.
You have, yes. Yeah, and that's exactly the reason we qualified for the $169,000 back. And yeah, very competitive renewal because they did like the risk this past year. And the current ongoing claimants, while there's several large claimants out there, I guess none are overly significant to make them warrant any sort of larger increase.
Good, thanks.
Steve, so you're not coming back then with a recommendation for Sun Life in the future after you get more claims results?
Their renewal's firm.
So they're firm right now?
Yep, they're done. Yes, they're firm. So yeah, great question, because typically stop loss, you really can't firm that up for probably like another month. But since Sun Life has all of your data, we asked them to lock in early. They were able to do that. So that's pretty unique on Sun Life. All right, so the recommendations to move to United Healthcare, but then we also have some plan changes. The first one is a CVS carve-out. So designating CVS as an out-of-network pharmacy, and that's going to save approximately $99,000. The reason we feel comfortable with that is because there are so many other opportunities to get your pharmacies, whether it's Walgreens, the Krogers, Targets, Sam's, Costco, plenty of opportunities elsewhere. CVS just typically tends to be higher because there is, typically one on every corner. So we do believe that kind of a change, not a huge impact, but it can be pretty financially sound. The other one, and we'll definitely do a lot of education on this with the members, and this is unique to United Healthcare. They're one of the only people in the industry that can do this, but it's called their Premium Designation Program, and it's where you tier your benefits for specialty doctors to drive better utilization to the high quality, low cost providers. I've said that backwards several times over the past couple months. So again, what they do is they evaluate physicians in various specialties, and they do use evidence-based medicine and national standards really to help give them a grade. So they're basically saying, hey, if you go to one of these preferred specialists, you will pay a lower copay amount. If you decide to use somebody that is not a designated premium provider, that's fine. They're still in network. It's still going to go towards your out-of-pocket maximum, but you will pay a slightly higher copay. And again, that's going to drive utilization to premium doctors and help improve utilization in claims. We felt that was pretty important because over the past couple of years we have seen claims tick up, so we needed to make some changes that will help impact that positively. We actually did evaluate tiering not only specialties, but primary care physicians as well as hospitals. Ultimately, we felt like there was a little bit too much disruption doing the primary care physician in hospitals, so we're going to start out with the specialty doctors first, knowing that we have that opportunity in the future. Some other plan design changes, several copay changes just to really reduce costs and improve utilization, and we'll have a full outline of that on the next slide. And then also a UHC wellness opportunity. I talked about this last time, but it's called the Real Appeal program. It does focus on weight loss. I've had several clients enroll in it. They get really good traction. Yvonne's actually touched base with Warren County, another group that put this in last year. Got really great reviews for it, so we just need to review it with Claremont County Council to make sure it fits in the guidelines, but we believe that it will. It'll be a really good program for your employees and your members.
What does that include?
So essentially, a member signs up to join the Real Appeal. They do go through an interview process initially to make sure that they're fully committed to try and basically lose weight, eat healthier. If they do that, they get a box mailed to them with, like a portion plate, a blender, different workout videos, scale for weight, and then what they do is they interact with the coach. They set a time every week in which is convenient for them, to where they're going to touch base with the coach to help reduce weight. And the nice thing about that is you don't pay for any sort of claim on that unless it's working. So as an employee is losing weight, that's when a preventive claim comes through. So it's not like you're paying a flat PEPM, and if no one's using it, you're still paying. So that's the beauty about Real Appeal. So we're going to further evaluate putting that program in to make sure it fits within Claremont County. And again, it's a pretty unique thing through United Healthcare. All right, so here is an overview of your plan designs. On the left-hand side is your current plan with Humana, and then on the right-hand side, these are the recommended plan changes for United Healthcare. So you can see where the changes are. They're highlighted in gray. I'll quickly go over those. On the PPO plan, you can see we want to increase the urgent care from $35 to $60. That gets more in line with benchmark and will help drive the better utilization. Your primary care and specialist is currently $20 and $40. So we're going to increase that to $25 and $50. And then just below that, that's where you can see it represents a non-premium doctor copay. That's that premium designation. So if you see a tier 1, or primary care physician is going to be $25, but if you want to see a tier 2, it's going to be a $100 specialist copay. So it's just double what the regular specialist copay is. And again, we're going to have, during open enrollment, assuming everything gets approved, we will have United Healthcare out there. We'll be showing people how to go online to make sure that they're picking those higher quality, lower cost specialty providers and making sure there's a lot of education around that. And then on the right-hand side, just to the right of that, you can see the high deductible health plan. Essentially, it's still the same plan, $3,000, $6,000, 100% after you meet that deductible. If you continue seeing a premium specialist, it's still going to be covered at 100% after you meet your deductible. However, if you see a non-premium, you're going to have an $80 copay.
I guess you've got a list of who those that are in network.
We do. So they couldn't give an exact list based on your current utilization, based on like the provider file that we had, but typically there's about 35% designated as that top tier specialty providers. And there is an easy way to look on the United Healthcare site. So you just go to their doc finder and we'll have all that information so you can see. And when you search for a specialist, their site is nice because it actually populates all of those premium designated providers first. So you'd actually have to kind of scroll down to find one if it's for the first time moving to one. And then you can see on the drug just bumping up the copays a little bit by each tier. So from 10 to 15 on tier 1, 40 to 50 tier 2, and then tier 3 going from 60 to 70. So those are the recommended plan designs for 2018. We're trying not to impact it too much. All right, so making those previously discussed plan change, it reduces the 8.4% increase to 4.5%, which is $523. So when we started this, I think we were looking at about a 15%. So a lot of work went into the negotiations, the RFP, the plan design, the strategic talks to get us to that 4.5. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, though, is the state of the medical reserves. So due to a couple challenging claims years, the current funds in the medical reserve are low, and they do need to be replenished. We want to do so over a several-year period. So in 2018, we do want to add on about $300,000 to the overall increase, which brings it to a final 7.1% or $823,000. That increase is to be absorbed by the departments and not the employees. And again, we're looking to do this over several years. Hopefully we have a good claims year or two where things run under budget, and maybe we can back off that. But right now, that's what we need to do based on the current state of the reserve. So with that, it brings us to the final, again, 7.1% increase, which is $823,000. And these are just your rates. These are your fully insured equivalent rates or your funding rates. These are what we help base contributions off of. This is what we use for budgetary purposes in COBRA as well. So you can see on the left-hand side your current, PPO at the top, consumer-driven health plan at the bottom, and then on the right is the renewal. So medical employee contributions, these are outlined below. These rates do assume employees are non-tobacco users and they qualified for the discounted rates. And if you recall, we mentioned tobacco users are going to pay a non-discounted rate, which is $10 more per month. So again, these assume everybody is a non-tobacco user in the bottom. These are shown monthly. And then again, kind of similar setup. On the left-hand side, or on the top, you have the consumer-driven health plan, and on the bottom, you have the PPO. And these are the different changes. The left is a PCP participant, and the right is a non-PCP participant. As you know, we have that difference in premiums there, where they're going to pay more if they do not participate in the primary care program.
Steve, can you just clarify on the tobacco users? It's really, they're they can still utilize tobacco, but it's because they attend the classes. So can you explain that real quickly?
Yeah, so the county offered tobacco cessation classes throughout the course of the year. So if you're a tobacco user, you could participate in those classes, and if you do, you can still qualify for the discounted rate. So we give people the opportunity to do so. However, if they chose not to participate in those classes, they still want to use tobacco, that's fine, but they will not qualify for that discount. We also do recommend continuing with the annual HSA contribution of $600 single, $1,200 other tiers. So that's the medical. I know there was a lot. Are there any other questions on the medical before we move to dental? Okay. So quickly in the dental, we also conducted a full RFP, getting quotes from several carriers. Last time I was out here, we said MetLife was there going to provide an additional little bit of savings. Able to negotiate with Dental Care Plus, and they knocked off $1 per employee per month from their administrative fee. Saved about $9,000 annually. Combine that with some favorable claims, we're actually looking at about $11,000 decrease. So after looking at the network disruption was pretty significant if we moved to MetLife, we decided to make the recommendation to renew with Dental Care Plus. And on the bottom you have those monthly funding rates and contributions. And again, you have the core plan, which is under that green section. You have the current rates, renewal rates, so you can see they're going down slightly. And then you have the preventive plan, which we offered new last year. And you have the current rates and renewal rates, again, going down slightly. So good news on the dental front. And no disruption there. A few of the other benefit renewals, Basic Life, All Life, and LTD with Symetra, that's going to be renewing next year. IMED, we have a couple more years. Charge Snyder, the FSA is under rate guarantee. P&A Group, who does the COBRA, they offered a rate hold. Tri-Health and EAP, we're still working through that renewal, expected to get that here pretty soon in September. And then Allstate Accident and Critical Illness, no change. The other thing that we took a good look at this year was Park National. They're your health savings account vendor. They do not charge for the accounts. One of the things we did look at was moving to Charge Snyder. They do provide that full service HSA and investment options, which we talked about last time. We went back and forth on that. They do charge a fee. But ultimately, the recommendation is to remain with Park National so we can really just focus on the United Healthcare change. You know, it's been several years since we've made any sort of big change, especially from a medical perspective. So we feel it's important that employees feel comfortable, get used to the United Healthcare website, searching for those premium designated providers, and just really taking all the focus on UHC. We do want to evaluate Charge Snyder again next year. So really the next steps would be carrier and plan design approval, and then we really need to hit the ground running and get some meetings with United Healthcare. Complete any necessary paperwork, the implementation meetings. We're going to go line by the current plan of the current benefits so we can make sure that they're matching as closely as possible. And then really open enrollment and communication to the employees. So we're already ready. I think we have some things scheduled already with Kelly Finn and my team to make sure that we're getting those open enrollment meetings set and getting UHC out there. And then it's just the UHC as the administrator, plan changes, and tobacco discount effective 1/1/18. Are there any other questions?
Talk about first. I know the last time that we talked about this, and there's been lots of conversations around it. So talk about just for a second the Charge Snyder option of the Park National versus the health savings account. I remember there were lots of issues surrounding that, you know, investment options, the ability for people to be able to recharge that money and the difficulties that Park National. Can you just give a discussion about was it really set off because it was just the timing wasn't right, or was it the fee? I mean, what?
I think a little bit of both. Timing, the fee, the Healthcare Advisory Committee and HR, we felt just focusing on UHC would be best at this time because there is a good amount of work that goes through when you're changing health savings administrators, and that's everybody completing transfer forms from Park National to get the money transferred. There's a blackout period where you have access to your funds when you do that. So there's just kind of a lot that goes into that. So it's not just as easy as saying, hey, we want to change, because everybody's got to complete those forms, the banks, all that kind of stuff. There were some issues with Park National and what they're able to do because they're not a full-blown HSA administrator. They're really just a bank that has the HSA portion. And then the other big piece was the investment opportunity. So with a Charge Snyder, once you hit a certain amount of money in your HSA, you can actually start investing that.
Right.
Which can be a big deal for most. But we did feel, again, at this time to wait, and there's no way for us to know exactly how many people even qualify at that different threshold, so they can start investing it, which is something, we'd love, but since they're individual bank accounts, we can't get that. So we basically said, you know what, let's put a hold on that until next year when we can maybe evaluate that a little bit further, and people can kind of focus on that change.
And would there be any way to take a look at that? I mean, is it really, we're out of time to take a look at that, or could we open that back up, take a
Early
look at it, and see if
September,
we can?
yeah, early
include it?
September. Yeah, we would still have time. It's just a matter of, because we have a quote from Charge Snyder, there's a PEPM fee, so employees would be charged $250 per employee per month to have Charge Snyder. But again, they would get the benefit of having the full service provider with questions, a little bit more seamless things. If they ever get a rebate, or not a rebate, but like a check back from a provider, it can be easily deposited. So yeah, we could absolutely still
Plus,
look at that.
I understand that HSA providers, they understand the difference between those accounts. Park National, all they can do is kind of hand you a Visa card and,
Right. Yeah, because they're really a bank, and they
Right.
basically say, hey, we'll hold your HSA dollars in a kind of an HSA account. So it is a little bit different because Charge Center, that's kind of what they specialize in.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can absolutely still look at that.
I think it'd be great to look at that. And if the
Okay.
timing's right, let's see if we can't have a proposal that
Yeah,
makes some sense.
we can still do that because around open enrollment, which is until mid-October, we would just need people to complete banking forms and closure forms. So
Okay.
basically, we send them all to Park National. They had to close them all out. There's a couple-week period where there's a blackout where people can't access their funds. So it's just communicating that. Once they send those funds over to Charge Snyder's bank account, they would all get a debit card 1-1, and we try to sync it up as closely as possible with 1-1. But know that there is a little bit of kind of legwork that does go into that, but we'd have time to get those forms completed.
And I understand that the investment options on that are very,
Yeah,
very
mutual
good.
funds. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good selection
Okay.
of them. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
That was a great job.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we have some new employees in the county. Who wants to go first? Do that, Pam?
Good morning, Lisa Gatwood, Claremont Transportation Connection, CTC. And I have 3 new employees with us this morning. We have Chris Heist on the end, full-time CDL vehicle operator. He's a retired deputy sheriff for Claremont County and recently worked in maintenance at the jail. He's worked for Claremont County for 33 years, and now he's decided to come spend some time with us and drive a bus. So we're happy to have him. Next is Nicholas Bestfelt. He's a full-time non-CDL vehicle operator trainee. He previously worked for Portman Equipment and Equipment Depot, and he'll be studying for his commercial driver's license CDL in the next 6 months. And I'm happy to say that he's already passed his CDL permit test, so he's well on his way. And then our third is Ronald Dressel, also full-time non-CDL vehicle operator trainee, and he previously worked for the Hennigan Company, and he's also studying for his commercial driver's license in 6 months, and he also passed his CDL permit test. So we're happy to have all of them aboard. And just my commercial, we do have some other positions available, full-time and part-time. So if you're interested in driving a bus, please let us know. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Welcome. You bet.
It would be kind of fun driving a bus. I think I'd like that,
Yeah,
Be like Ralph Cramden, right? Wasn't he a bus driver?
he was.
Yeah.
He was. It's true.
Morning, Lyle.
Good morning. I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Claremont County Water Resource Department, and this morning we have Justin Underwood. He's our new employee, started a couple weeks ago. Justin is a maintenance specialist in our maintenance group, actually working in the collections division, currently driving a Vector truck for us. So Justin does have a Class A CDL and a tanker endorsement with that. Justin went to New Richmond High School, Grant Career Center, and then also the Ohio Business College, where he took the classes necessary to get his CDL. So we're Happy to have Justin, happy to have CDL drivers, and welcome him aboard.
Justin, were you someplace else prior to coming here, or did you just?
Yeah, a place called American Metal.
American? No? Okay,
You drove, what did you say, a steel
Yeah,
truck you
yeah,
drove?
it's Flatbed semi.
good, good. Well, welcome. Yeah, thanks.
Welcome to Claremont County.
Okay, we'll begin the next piece, the consent agenda. But before I do, just acknowledging that Commissioner Humphrey is out today in Columbus with the county Claremont or County Commissioners Association, CCAO. I always say CCAO so frequently that I forget what it stands for, but yes, County Commissioners Association. So he'll be out today, but we do have in front of us the consent agenda. And we received this the end of last week. We've all had a chance to review it, and if there's no changes or discussions, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as shown.
So moved?
I will second the motion.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Hubel?
Yes. And flipping over to page 6, we have the non-consent agenda. First item is to pay our bills. Item 12, paying our bills, Resolution 138-17 in the amount of $1,587,107.65. Can we get a motion to pay our bills?
So moved?
I will second that.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Hubel?
Yes. And item 13.
Item 13 is a recommendation of Pat Mager, the county engineer, to approve the time and place of the annual meeting of county and township authorities directly involved with the construction and repair of roads and bridges within Claremont County, with said meeting to be held at 5 p.m. local time on Thursday, September 21st, 2017, at the Claremont County Fairgrounds Multi-Purpose Building in Owensville.
Okay, can we get a motion then to approve the annual engineers meeting at 5 p.m. on the 21st of September?
So moved?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Hubel?
Yes. Morning, Suki.
We have one financial this week. Again, we have another retirement. So we are appropriated in the Sheriff Court Services Bargaining Unit Salary Account, $37,736.26.
We get a motion then for the supplemental appropriations as referenced in item 14.
So moved?
I will second that.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Hubel?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Eigel, any addition, any other changes here?
We do have 2 add-ons for personnel actions, and it is in the Department of Public Safety Services, Jonathan Gordon, Emergency Resource Technician, Administrative Leave, Disciplinary with Pay, and that is effective 9/6 of 17, and Dominic Dalton, Program Administrator, Permanent Job Change, effective 9/11/2017.
Can we get a motion then for the add-ons here?
So moved?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Hubel?
Yes. And if that's it, we'll take a recess to get the minutes prepared. All right, we are back from recess, and before we approve the minutes, we just wanted to do a public service announcement. We have Howard Doherty here today from Veteran Services. Howard, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I just like to invite the county to Goshen, Ohio on 9/11. I believe it starts at 6 o'clock. There are some fun and games. It's with the Goshen Lions Club and with our office. And we're just having a memorial for the 9/11. And everyone in the county is welcome, and we would love to have you. Be there till about 8 o'clock.
And the location?
It is the Catherine
Staggy-Mark.
Staggy-Mark Park, which is next to the high school, where they have the Sheriff's Night Out.
Right.
I've been there.
On Goshen Road.
Goshen Road. Can't miss it.
Great. Will you be speaking that night?
I will be there too, yes, sir.
And in the compliment, he'll be bringing the, walking the colors in and all that. Do you already have that all established?
I think that's all established, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Guest speaker?
There's several.
Good.
There's several guest speakers.
Once again, the date, 9/11?
9/11.
6
I
o'clock.
believe it starts actually at 2 o'clock, but I'm not slated to be there till about 6.
Okay.
Check their website.
Yes, check the website. And you can check also our website,
Okay.
Claremont County Veteran Services, because it is on there. Thank you very
Very
much.
good. Thanks,
you,
Howard,
Howard.
for letting us know that. Okay, we have the minutes were prepared during the recess. We have those in front of us. And David, when you're ready, I'll let you make the motion to approve the minutes.
I've reviewed the minutes and I find them accurate, and I make a motion that we approve them.
Great. I will second that motion.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Hubel?
Yes. If there's nothing else, can we get a motion then to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for coming. See you next week.
Have a great day.